This idea that somehow, oh, this is about Obama preserving his legacy. Or, keep in mind, I'm not the one who named it Obamacare. They were the ones who named it Obamacare because what they wanted to do was personalize this and feed on antipathy towards me in their party as an organizing tool, as politics. But I don't have a pride of authorship on this thing. If they can come up with something better, I'm for it. But you have to show, and I would advise every Democrat to be for it, but you have to show that it's better. And that's not too much to ask.
No more.
That's fair.
Asking Republicans to have a replacement plan, that's no more than asking pigs to fly across the Atlantic Ocean.
You mean they're
at
never going to get one?
Speed. They're just not going to get one. President Obama says he's gladly going to support the Trump Care or Ryan Care plan if it works better than his health care plan. With us now from Washington, D.C., editor-in-chief of Vox.com, Ezra Klein, who interviewed the president last week, and here at the table, the president and the CEO of the National Urban League, Marc Morial. The National Urban League's out this morning with this new scorecard of the Obama administration, and we're going to get to that in just a moment. The first question, though, is the branding. Ezra, we're really, really impressed with the branding that you actually get Vox. Now, it is not the Blair House, it is the Vox Blair House. That's quite impressive.
That was our original intention. We wanted to take over the president's guest house and make it our own. It's a fundamentally imperialist organization.
Well, you did. You know, the president at times has been accused in his administration by his critics of being arrogant. He has every reason to be very self-confident, though, on this count, that the Republicans simply still do not have a replacement plan adequate to take the place of Obamacare.
But I think the problem right now is that they have, I really do believe this is the right word, blundered into a strategy where not having a replacement plan, they can nevertheless destroy the system as it currently exists. I mean, normally the way this would work is that you would try to come up with your plan, and either you would come up with something or you wouldn't, or you would come up with something that wasn't good enough to pass, and if you hit one of those latter two conditions, then just nothing happens. It's embarrassing, but you are left with the status quo. Repeal and delay, where you trigger a 2 or 3 year repeal process before you come up with your plan, means that if you don't come up with your plan in the interim, what we have could have collapsed, because insurers are not going to stay in the Obamacare marketplaces if they think the marketplaces might disappear on some date a year or two from right now.
So in effect, they'd be taking away people's
Approach.
insurance.
Well, yeah, no, they are. Yeah, and the problem here, Mr. Mayor, is right now they're having enough trouble keeping insurers out. Ezra's exactly right. You say this thing's going to sunset in 3 years, insurance companies are going to scatter, the whole thing collapses, and it's not going to be on Barack Obama's shoulders. It's going to be on Donald Trump's shoulders and the Republican Congress's shoulders.
Good politics doesn't always mean good policy. Good politics doesn't always mean good government. And the call to repeal Obamacare made sense for the Republican base. But it doesn't translate that rallying cry translates immediately into a better plan. And I think the president's absolutely right. Show us the plan. Show us the beat.
He's open.
Show us what you have. And I say, let's retain the Affordable Care Act until and unless there's a better idea.
Well, and Ezra, that's the big fight in the Republican Party right now. You've got the president-elect who has said, I'm not going to vote for a repeal until you have a replacement. And you've got all these congressmen, congresswomen, senators that have been promising for 5, 6 years. They're going to repeal it the second they get a chance.
So here's a problem Republicans are facing on this. What they dislike about Obamacare and what voters dislike about Obamacare are not the same things. And for years now, they have been eliding that. I saw Mitch McConnell this weekend on Face the Nation. He came out and he said, Obamacare has been a disaster. It has left still 25 million people uninsured. It has high premiums. It has high deductibles. All that is a completely fair set of criticisms of Obamacare. But is he committing to a replacement plan that covers more people than Obamacare does, that has lower deductibles than Obamacare does? Because I've read these Republican replacement plans. There are a bunch of them floating around, just not one they've all agreed on, and they don't do that. And so what's about to happen now is a collision between what Republicans have found politically useful to attack Obamacare on, because people want better insurance, they want more insurance, they want cheaper insurance, they want more generous insurance, and what they're actually offering, or what they actually want to do, which is lower taxes, less total insurance, sparser insurance, higher deductible, more consumer-directed plans. These are reasonable ideas, but they are going to make a lot of people very angry.
So great points. Marc Morial, a rapid fire here. Obama's scorecard. Successes, failures, missed opportunities. Jobs in the economy. Go.
Superior.
Okay. Criminal justice.
Good.
Only good.
No, excellent.
Excellent. Really. Health.
Excellent.
Okay. Civil rights and executive appointments.
I would say excellent, not superior, but excellent.
How about the revitalization, something that you care a great deal about, the revitalization of urban areas?
I would give him a fair on that, because I think that in that area particularly, we would like to have seen a continuation of some of the targeted policies that were part of the stimulus, a greater focus on that. Yeah. I mean, the big news around our scorecard, Joe, is that we give him an excellent rating, and I think if people look at our report, we were fair, we were balanced across the board, and look, he will leave office with a higher approval rating than any modern president, except for Bill Clinton. He'll be higher than Reagan. Only Clinton, FDR, and Eisenhower will have left office with a higher approval. So we think that all told, President Obama's been an excellent president, and I think history will judge him fairly.
So let me ask you, 8 years later, and I can't believe how long the show's been on the air, before Barack Obama was sworn into office, Tavis Smiley was here, and Tavis said one of his concerns was that Barack Obama would be so concerned about being seen as the president of all the United States and not being seen as a black president, that he might not focus as much on race issues as needed to be focused on. And we saw that early on with, I guess, the cop in Cambridge, and it happened time and again where he was actually judged, I think, more harshly whenever he talked about
And that's
race.
one of the most important questions we debated. What's the standard by which you evaluate President Obama? Is it in comparison to his predecessors? Is there some hypothetical perfect president standard out there? Or is it the Superman standard, that he's supposed to leap tall buildings with a single bound, cure hundreds of years of social and economic ills in this country? So we think, and as I thought, and Tavis is a friend, but differed with him, that it was important that we evaluate the president at the end, that we give him a full opportunity. And I think at the end, after 8 years, I think history demonstrates, and our report says he's been an excellent president.
Marc Morial, thank you very much. We'll be reading the National Urban League scorecard of the Obama presidency, the legacy. Thank you so much.
And Ezra Klein, thank you as well. We're going to be watching your interview with the president on Vox.com, and I hope you'll come back. We would like to talk more about what happens next with the Affordable Care Act.
Thank you both. We'll be right back with much more.